speaking of, if you caught the Super Bowl, we're recording this the day after Super Bowl Sunday.
Hmm.
Our final story is a complete like hatchet job by a website called Defector on one of the ads that Salesforce had on their promoting their Agent Force technology. And it really, to me, was less. This isn't. It has anything to do with Agent Force as a technology. It has to do with the messaging, the hype that we just talked about, and the ridiculousness of this particular commercial. So, did you have a chance to read it, and what did you think of it?
Yeah. So first, I'm gonna provide my disclaimer. Salesforce is one of my clients. That said, this ad was really odd to me. Um, Both like one, the star power involved Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson tr- having problems getting a reservation in a restaurant done correctly. Like just the entire idea right here is laughable on its surface. I'm pretty sure if Matthew McConaughey goes into any restaurant, he's going to get the best table and the best service. He's not going to get stuck out in the rain. But then the fact that this could be the fault of AI or bad AI is a little odd. I think that it would have been funny if they had some sort of big like Microsoft Copilot hat for the rainy part, and then Salesforce Agent Force for being inside and eating. But it was a funny
Well,
ad. So yes.
if you haven't seen the ad, basically it's Matthew McConaughey sitting outside at a restaurant in the pouring rain. He's sitting there drenched, and he blames it all on the fact that the restaurant's AI was too stupid to recognize that his outside reservation should be moved inside because of rain. And this is what the article goes on to, and then blames the AI for the waiter bringing him food that he doesn't like. And so this article, I mean, honestly, I think half of the fun of this is that how hard the article went after Salesforce on this, because let's call a spade a spade. It was meant to be funny. It's a Super
Mhm.
Bowl commercial, which is always this battle, right? So you get a bunch of star wattage, you put them in a ridiculous situation, and makes everyone laugh, and you try to get a message across, right? So that's what they're trying to do. So let's not be too hard on them here. But what I do felt like the article was interesting, because what it and I have to believe that this is just people not paying attention. An ad agency that knows nothing about AI, just saying, "I've got these stars.
Mhm.
What kind of situation can I do that will make this fun and interesting that people will talk about?" Um, because the underlying premise when Defector went through and sort of broke this down was brilliant, because they said, like, what this really speaks to is apparently Matthew McConaughey is living in a world in which he has completely given his life over to AI, that nobody has any actual cognitive thought here, that he's, because he
Mhm.
shows up and the reservation officer outside and that's where the AI booked him, that's where he's going to sit even though it's pouring rain. It's like, duh. And the restaurant is going to sit him out there even though it's pouring rain, because that's what AI
Mhm.
told them to do. And it's going to bring him food, which nobody orders with an AI bot anyway, but because that's what the AI told, it just like the ridiculousness of the whole thing just sort of keeps compounding, apparently just for the comedic effect of it. And then what I thought the most salient point of this article was, it says, and there's Woody Harrelson, who's calling him up from across the street, again, comedic effect, but basically was saying, you have a choice. And the choice isn't to choose a better AI. The choice is to ignore the AI and to come out of the rain. So it was almost like an anti-AI ad.
uh
It was hilarious. So I highly encourage you, to watch the commercial. It was quite humorous, and then to read the article. And mostly just to process just how much hype there is and how it's so easy to get sucked into all of this. And the miss for Salesforce, in my opinion, all due deference to your client, is that they missed a huge opportunity on a very large stage to really sell the real promise of AI, because forget the fail of the rain and all that, we're not going to use AI for any of that anyway. I mean, that's really not the prime use case. And so that's the big miss, in my opinion.
yeah, and I've seen Google ads kind of to the same effect, where they try to show how AI is involved in all of your biggest life experiences. And honestly, there are certain things where I don't really need AI to be, at my wedding, or the birth of a child, or my college graduation. That's not the relationship I have with AI. I think that part of the challenge is that the AI tech like advertising people took lessons from the iPhone, which is a very personal technology. The mobile phone is very personal, but the lesson they took is that, oh, tech should always be embedded into your personal life extremely tightly. And honestly, I don't think that's the relationship that most of us want to have with AI. We don't want to be stuck in an AI world. We don't want to be stuck in some sort of matrix dystopian situation. And that's kind of where the AI ads are headed, because they don't know how to describe the value proposition correctly right now
Well,
at
and I
that
do think it speaks to
multi-million
one of
dollar
the
level. Uh-huh.
yeah, and I think part of the issue is I think part of the challenge is both. You mentioned Google, right? Google is doing this as well, like you said, and Salesforce. This is effectively a consumer ad for an enterprise technology, and that's the real miss, right? It's like you can't connect the two,
Mm-hmm.
and I mentioned ServiceNow's ad. Maybe when we publish this, we can include a link to that. Now, it was still full of hype, and I still, think it was way overblown in many ways. But at least it was trying to address it from an enterprise perspective. I don't know if you saw that one, but I thought it did a much better job of sort of conveying the true value of how we would be using these agents in enterprise context. Still overhyped, in my opinion, but a much better, much more realistic. It didn't have the big star power. It wasn't. It was cute. But
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be an ongoing challenge. At least if you're one of these big companies, it has to try to communicate this at because I really think this is like aimed at investors, right? That's why
Mm-hmm.
this is a consumer based ad. I think that's a tough one. It's very tough for the average consumer to really understand how this technology is going to have an impact on the business that they're investing in or whatever, and that's a challenge for them.